Hello. Welcome. Find a comfortable place to rest, somewhere soft, somewhere safe. Let your body settle into the cushions or the mattress beneath you. Feel the weight of your head on the pillow. Let your shoulders drop just a little. Tonight, we're going on a journey together. A slow, peaceful journey through space to a place unlike anywhere else. We're going to visit Jupiter, the giant of our solar system, and we're going to fall gently through its clouds, down through its atmosphere, all the way to its quiet, glowing heart. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to be afraid. You are completely safe. You're only watching, only drifting. Nothing can harm you on this journey. You are held, protected, wrapped in warmth and silence as we travel together through the cosmos. Take a deep breath in. Hold it gently. Now let it go, slowly, like releasing a sigh into the night. Good. We're ready now. Close your eyes if you'd like. Let the words carry you. Let yourself begin to float. You are drifting through the darkness of deep space. There are no sounds here, only an endless, comfortable silence. Stars surround you in every direction, tiny points of light, scattered like salt across black velvet. Some are bright, some are dim. All of them are very, very far away. Ahead of you, something else appears. At first, it's just a pale, barely brighter than the stars around it. But as you drift closer, moving at your own unhurried pace, it grows. Slowly, patiently, it becomes larger. A sphere, a world. And then you see the colors, bands of cream and amber, rust and gold, swirling across its face in gentle, hypnotic patterns. This is Jupiter. It is enormous. So large that more than 11 Earths could line up side by side across its middle. So massive that it holds more than twice the weight of all the other planets in the solar system combined. And yet, from here, floating peacefully toward it, it simply looks beautiful. Like a painted ornament hanging in the void, turning slowly, waiting. You drift closer still, and now you can see that Jupiter is not perfectly round. It bulges slightly at the middle, flattened at the top and bottom by its own rapid spin. The planet turns faster than any other world you know. One full rotation takes less than 10 hours. It spins like a top, endlessly, tirelessly, shaping itself as it goes. You have all the time in the world. There is no rush. You are suspended here in the quiet dark, watching the giant planet turn beneath the distant, patient sun. Jupiter takes nearly 12 Earth years to complete one orbit around that sun. Right now, in this moment, it is simply gliding along its great circular path, and you are gliding with it. The planet's gravity is immense. It shapes the space around it, bending the paths of comets and asteroids, holding dozens of moons in careful orbit. Even the Sun itself responds to Jupiter's pull. The two of them orbit a shared point in space, a balance point that lies just above the Sun's surface. They dance together, slowly, across the centuries. But you feel none of this. You are simply here, safe and small, drifting closer to the swirling clouds. The darkness of space begins to soften. The stars behind you fade slightly as Jupiter fills more and more of your view. As you drift toward Jupiter, you pass through a realm of moons. They surround the planet like a miniature solar system, each one following its own patient orbit, each one a world unto itself. There are 95 known moons as of 2025, scattered across the darkness, and perhaps more waiting to be discovered. The 4 largest moons, the Galilean moons, named after the astronomer who discovered them, hang in space around you, visible as crescents and spheres catching the distant sunlight. They are enormous, these moons. Each one is unique. Each one is beautiful. Io drifts past, closest to Jupiter, a world of fire and sulfur, painted in shades of yellow and orange and red. Even from here, you can sense its restless energy. It is the most volcanically active body in the solar system, with over 400 active volcanoes dotting its surface. Plumes of sulfur dioxide erupt from its interior, shooting hundreds of kilometers into space, then falling back down in slow, graceful arcs. The volcanism is driven by tidal heating. Jupiter's immense gravity stretches and squeezes Io as it orbits, generating friction deep inside, melting the interior, keeping it molten and active. Io is locked in an orbital resonance with the next 2 moons, Europa and Ganymede. For every orbit Io makes around Jupiter, Europa makes 2, and Ganymede makes 4. This precise, mathematical relationship keeps their orbits stable, amplifying the tidal heating. It is a dance that has continued for millions of years, perhaps billions. Europa glides by, a world of ice. Its surface is smooth and bright, crisscrossed with reddish-brown lines, cracks in the ice, filled with material from below. You can see the beauty of it from here, the way it gleams softly in the sunlight. Beneath that ice, kept warm by tidal heating, lies an ocean. A vast, global ocean of liquid water, perhaps 100 kilometers deep, containing twice as much water as all of Earth's oceans combined. The ice is thin in places. Cracks open and close. Water wells up from below, freezes on the surface, creating new ice. Europa is a world that might harbor life. Simple, microbial life, living in the dark, warm water beneath the ice, sustained by chemical energy from the rocky seafloor. No one knows for certain, but the possibility is there, quiet and tantalizing. Ganymede drifts farther out, the largest moon in the solar system, larger even than the planet Mercury. It is a world of ice and rock, with a thin atmosphere and a hidden ocean of its own, buried deep beneath layers of ice. But Ganymede is unique. It has its own magnetic field, generated by a molten iron core deep inside. It is the only moon in the solar system to have such a field. You can almost sense it as you pass, a gentle pulse in the darkness. Callisto hangs at the edge of the Galilean system, ancient and quiet. Its surface is the most heavily cratered in the solar system, a record of billions of years of impacts. Unlike the other 3, Callisto receives little tidal heating. It is geologically quiet, peaceful, a time capsule from the early days of the solar system. Beyond the Galilean moons, smaller moons orbit in scattered groups. Some are irregular, lumpy, potato-shaped bodies, captured asteroids that were pulled in by Jupiter's gravity. Many orbit backwards, retrograde, opposite to Jupiter's spin. These are the remnants of larger bodies that were captured and then broken apart by collisions. Closer in, near Jupiter itself, are the inner moons, Metis, Adrastea, Amalthea, Thebe. These small bodies orbit just above the planet's atmosphere, moving quickly, shedding dust from their surfaces. That dust falls inward, creating Jupiter's faint ring system, a gossamer halo of particles that encircles the planet, glowing softly in scattered sunlight. You drift among the moons, watching them move in their slow, stately orbits. They are silent, as everything here is silent. But they are beautiful, each one holding its own mysteries, its own story. Jupiter holds them all, gently, in the vast embrace of its gravity. And now you leave them behind, drifting toward the planet itself, toward the swirling bands of color that stretch across its face. Jupiter fills your vision now. The moons fade behind you as you approach the giant planet itself. Soon, it is all you can see, a wall of color and movement, gentle and enormous, stretching out in every direction. The bands that wrap around Jupiter are not painted on. They are rivers of atmosphere, flowing in opposite directions, driven by forces deep below. Bright zones where gases rise and cool, forming pale ammonia clouds. Dark belts where the air sinks back down, revealing deeper, warmer layers beneath. The boundaries between them ripple and swirl, like cream stirred into coffee, never quite mixing. You can see now that Jupiter is not a solid world. There is no ground below those clouds, no surface to land on. It is a world made almost entirely of gas, hydrogen and helium, the same elements that fill the sun and the other stars. Jupiter is like a star that never quite ignited, a gentle giant that glows with its own internal warmth instead. The colors deepen as you drift closer. Cream and rust and amber, gold and brown and pale yellow. Some of the colors come from ammonia crystals in the highest clouds. Some come from deeper chemicals, phosphorus, sulfur, hydrocarbons, brought up by powerful storms and altered by sunlight. The exact chemistry is still mysterious, one of Jupiter's quiet secrets. You can see the motion now. The bands flow past each other, driven by winds that race at hundreds of kilometers per hour. But from your quiet vantage point, they look peaceful, inevitable, like rivers in the sky. Above the clouds, where the atmosphere is thinner still, an equatorial jet stream races along at incredible speeds, over 500 kilometers per hour, creating wind shears that ripple through the atmosphere. Jupiter radiates more heat than it receives from the sun. It glows from within, warmed by its own slow contraction, by helium rain falling through its interior, by the ancient heat of its formation still leaking away into space. This internal warmth drives the winds, powers the storms, keeps the atmosphere in constant, gentle motion. You are about to fall through it. Slowly, peacefully, safely. You pass through the first thin boundary, the place where space ends and atmosphere begins. It's not a sharp line. It's more like passing from one room into another through a doorway made of mist. The darkness around you softens into a pale, luminous haze. You are inside now, wrapped in Jupiter's outermost layers. The air here is incredibly thin, but it is there. Hydrogen molecules drift past you, invisible, innumerable. Helium atoms follow, quiet companions in the emptiness. Farther below, you know there are other things, methane, ammonia, traces of water vapor. But here, at the very top, it is simple, clean, almost pure. The temperature is cold, far colder than any winter you've ever known. But you don't feel it. You are held in warmth, insulated, protected, as if wrapped in the softest blanket. The cold is something you observe from a distance, a fact rather than a sensation. Around you, crystals of ammonia ice form in the frigid air, creating wispy clouds that glow faintly in the distant sunlight. You begin to sink, gently, pulled by Jupiter's great gravity. The clouds thicken around you. The pale haze deepens into soft cream, then butter yellow, then a warmer gold. You are descending through layers now, each one slightly denser, slightly warmer than the last. The bright zones flow past you, rivers of rising air filled with ammonia crystals. They shimmer like snow caught in a beam of light. Between them, the darker belts stretch away to the horizon, vast, shadowed regions where the atmosphere sinks back down, disappearing into the depths below. The winds between these zones move quickly, racing at hundreds of kilometers per hour, but you are not buffeted by them. You simply drift, observing, as they slide past like currents in a vast, invisible ocean. The light changes as you descend. It grows softer, more diffuse, as if you are sinking into water. The sun is somewhere far above, its light filtering down through layers of haze and cloud. Some of the light is scattered. Some is absorbed. What reaches you is warm and golden, like the light of late afternoon in summer, stretched across an entire world. You pass through the ammonia ice clouds and into a deeper layer. Here, the clouds are made of ammonium hydrosulfide, a compound with a tawny, brownish color. They give Jupiter's belts their darker hue. The clouds are thick here, almost solid-looking, but they part gently as you descend, swirling away in slow eddies, then closing again above you. Deeper still. The pressure builds around you, but you feel only the gentlest embrace, as if the atmosphere is holding you carefully in its hands. The temperature rises. You are moving into a region where the air is no longer frigid. It is cool, then mild, then warm. The clouds here are water ice, familiar, comforting, the deepest of Jupiter's three main cloud decks. They stretch away in every direction, a hidden layer beneath all the color and motion above. The clouds glow faintly with their own light, lit from below by the warmth rising from Jupiter's interior. You are surrounded now by a soft, luminous fog. The water clouds blend with ammonia, creating a mist that shrouds everything in quiet mystery. This is the layer that the Galileo probe descended through in 1995, measuring and recording as it fell, sending its data back to Earth before the pressure and heat finally silenced it. But you are not a probe. You are not mechanical. You are simply here, observing, untouched, safe. As you drift through the atmosphere, you sense something vast nearby. A presence. A disturbance in the flowing bands. You turn your attention toward it, and there it is, the Great Red Spot, Jupiter's most famous storm. It is enormous, wider than the entire Earth. A great oval of rust and salmon and coral, spinning slowly in place, embedded in the southern hemisphere like a jewel set into the planet's face. From here, it doesn't look like a storm. It looks like a painting, something beautiful and serene, turning with hypnotic grace. The Great Red Spot is old. It has been watched by human eyes for nearly 200 years, perhaps longer. What we know is that the current spot has been here since at least 1831, swirling patiently through the centuries while the world below changed and grew. It is shrinking, slowly. In the 1800s, it stretched nearly 40,000 kilometers from end to end. Today, it is smaller, about 14,000 kilometers across, and more circular than it used to be. Over the decades, it has drawn itself inward, tightening like a wound spring, but it shows no sign of stopping. It simply continues, turning and turning, a high-pressure anticyclone locked into Jupiter's flow. Winds inside the storm gust at hundreds of kilometers per hour, driven not by the sun's heat, but by Jupiter's own internal warmth. The storm is remarkably shallow for its width, only a few hundred kilometers deep, like a vast, flat disk of churning air. And the color, that beautiful, rusty red, comes from chemicals brought up from deeper layers. Phosphorus, perhaps, or hydrocarbons altered by sunlight. No one knows for certain. It is one of Jupiter's mysteries. You drift near the spot, keeping a respectful distance. You watch it turn, slowly, endlessly, and you feel no danger. It is simply there, a feature of this world, like a canyon or a mountain on Earth. It will be here long after you are gone, spinning in the quiet dark, patient and unchanging. Farther away, you notice other storms. Smaller ovals, white and cream-colored, drifting through the bands. Some are old, some are new. Occasionally, they merge together, creating larger storms. One such merger created a smaller red spot, nicknamed Red Junior, which has been drifting through the southern hemisphere, another quiet dancer in Jupiter's endless ballet. Lightning flickers in the distance. Silent threads of light, sudden and gone, stretching 1,000 kilometers across the sky. The lightning here is powerful, hundreds of times stronger than any bolt on Earth, but it is far away, and you watch it without fear. It is beautiful, in its way. A reminder that this world is alive with energy, even in its stillness. The storms on Jupiter are driven by convection, warm air rising from below, breaking through stable layers, releasing energy. The planet has no solid surface to slow the winds, no mountains or oceans to disrupt the flow. The storms can last for years, for decades, for centuries, sustained by the endless supply of heat from below. But you are not caught in these currents. You continue to drift downward, away from the storms, away from the clouds, descending into the deeper atmosphere where the air is clear and the light is soft and steady. The storms continue above you, but they fade into the distance, becoming part of the vast, gentle sky. The fog begins to thin. You are passing through the bottom of the cloud decks, leaving the visible layers behind. Below you now, there is no more mist, no more clouds, only clear atmosphere, deepening and warming as you continue your gentle descent. The light is soft and amber, like being inside a glowing ember. It is peaceful here, quiet, timeless. You are deeper now than any spacecraft has ever traveled. The pressure around you builds steadily, but you feel only a gentle, embracing warmth. The atmosphere is no longer a gas in the way you understand it. It is thickening, becoming something else, something between gas and liquid, a supercritical fluid that fills all space, seamless and continuous. There is no boundary here, no surface where the gas stops and something else begins. The hydrogen simply becomes denser, hotter, heavier. The change is so gradual that you cannot pinpoint the moment it happens. You are simply here, surrounded by hydrogen in a form that has no name, that exists nowhere else in your experience. It is neither air nor water, but something in between. Something unique to worlds like this. The light around you is no longer coming from above. It is coming from everywhere, a soft, diffuse glow, radiated by the warmth of the hydrogen itself. The temperature rises steadily. What was once cold is now warm. What was warm is now hot. But you are insulated from it, held safely, experiencing it only as a presence, a fact of this place. The heat does not burn. It simply is. You pass through regions where helium rain falls in slow motion. Droplets of liquid helium, heavier than the hydrogen around them, sink toward the center of the planet, releasing heat as they go. This is one of the reasons Jupiter glows from within. This slow, steady rain, falling through the interior, keeping the planet warm over billions of years. The droplets are invisible, but you know they are there, drifting past you in the stillness. Other elements are mixed into the hydrogen as well. Carbon, nitrogen, sulfur, methane, ammonia, water vapor. Tiny amounts compared to the vast quantities of hydrogen and helium, but enough to enrich the atmosphere, to create the colors and the chemistry that make Jupiter what it is. These elements are more abundant here than they are in the Sun, brought inward perhaps during the planet's formation, locked into Jupiter's depths for eons. You descend further. The pressure climbs higher. 10 times the pressure at Earth's surface. 100 times. 1,000. The numbers cease to have meaning. You are in a place where matter behaves in ways that cannot be replicated in any laboratory, where the rules are written by gravity and time. And still, you are safe. Still, you drift peacefully downward, held and protected. The temperature rises past the boiling point of water, past the melting point of lead, past the temperature of molten lava. And still, the hydrogen remains fluid, compressed by the weight of the entire planet pressing inward. There is no fire here, no flames, only heat, pure, steady, ancient heat, radiating outward from the depths. You are approaching the true interior now, the secret heart of Jupiter, where the pressure becomes unimaginable, where the hydrogen itself transforms into something stranger still. At a depth of about 7,000 kilometers, halfway to the center, the hydrogen changes again. The pressure is so immense here that the electrons are stripped away from the hydrogen atoms, leaving behind a sea of protons and free electrons. This is metallic hydrogen, a form of matter that can exist nowhere else in the solar system except in the hearts of giant planets like Jupiter and Saturn. It is called metallic because it behaves like a metal. It conducts electricity. It is dense and liquid and gleaming, though no light from outside can reach this deep to reflect off its surface. If you could see it, truly see it, it might look like an ocean of mercury, silver and flowing, stretching away in every direction, deeper and vaster than any ocean on Earth. This is the largest ocean in the solar system. Not an ocean of water, but an ocean of liquid metallic hydrogen, thousands upon thousands of kilometers deep, wrapping around Jupiter's core like a shell. It moves, slowly, stirred by the planet's rapid rotation, swirling in great eddies and currents that have flowed for billions of years. And as it moves, it generates something extraordinary. The metallic hydrogen conducts electricity, and the spinning motion of the planet creates electric currents within it. Vast, looping currents that flow through the liquid metal like blood through veins. These currents generate a magnetic field. Jupiter's magnetic field, the strongest magnetic field of any planet in the solar system. The field stretches millions of kilometers out into space, far beyond the planet itself, creating an invisible bubble, a magnetosphere, that traps particles from the solar wind, that captures dust and gas from Jupiter's moons, that pulses with energy and light. At the poles, where the field lines converge, particles spiral downward, creating permanent auroras, curtains of light that glow across the infrared and ultraviolet, and even into X-rays, brighter and more powerful than anything Earth has ever known. But you are not at the poles. You are deep inside, surrounded by the metallic hydrogen ocean, feeling the slow, steady pulse of the dynamo that powers the magnetic field. It is like being inside a vast, living machine, ancient and patient, turning endlessly, generating forces that shape the space around the planet. The ocean of metallic hydrogen is warm, not from sunlight, which cannot reach here, but from the pressure itself, from the weight of everything above pressing down, and from the slow contraction of the planet as it cools over eons. Jupiter is still shrinking, very slowly, releasing gravitational energy as it does so. This energy becomes heat. The heat radiates outward, keeping the interior molten, keeping the dynamo running, keeping the planet glowing softly in the cold of space. You drift through this ocean, held and protected, surrounded by the strange, liquid metal. There is no sound, no light, only warmth and pressure and a sense of immensity. You are near the center of Jupiter now, near the very heart of this world. The metallic hydrogen ocean continues downward, but you sense that something is changing. The density is increasing. The composition is shifting. You are approaching the boundary between the metallic hydrogen and the core itself, though even here, there is no sharp line, no sudden surface. Everything in Jupiter is gradual. Everything blends. The core is made of heavier elements, rock and metal, silicates and iron and perhaps ice, water ice, ammonia ice, methane ice, all compressed into forms that do not exist on Earth, squeezed by pressures 1,000,000 times greater than the air at sea level. The core is not solid, not in the way you might imagine a solid. It is more like a dense, diffuse mixture, blended with a metallic hydrogen around it, smeared out over thousands of kilometers. The mass of the core is somewhere between 10 and 25 times the mass of the entire Earth. All of that material, compressed into a space smaller than Earth itself, creating densities that are hard to comprehend. And yet, even here, even at the very center, there is no sudden boundary. The core simply is a concentration of heavy elements, a gradual thickening, a heart of stone and metal wrapped in an ocean of liquid metal wrapped in an atmosphere of gas. The temperature here is almost beyond imagining. 36,000 degrees, hotter than the surface of the sun. If you could stand on the sun's visible surface, the temperature there would be around 6,000 degrees. But here, at the center of Jupiter, crushed by the weight of an entire planet, the heat is 6 times greater. And yet you feel no pain, no burning. You are held here, safe and insulated, observing from within your cocoon of protection. The heat is a fact, a number, a piece of information. You sense it as you sense the pressure, as something vast and powerful and real, but distant from you. You are untouched. The heat comes from many sources. From the slow contraction of the planet, from the helium rain falling through the interior, from the decay of radioactive elements trapped in the core, releasing energy over billions of years, from the gravitational energy of Jupiter's formation, still radiating outward, still leaking away into space. Jupiter is ancient, 4.5 billion years old, nearly as old as the sun itself, and yet it is still cooling, still contracting, still glowing from within. You rest here for a moment, at the very center, the deepest point, the heart of the giant. Around you, the pressure is unimaginable. The temperature is fierce. The density is crushing, and yet, somehow, it feels peaceful. You are at the quiet center of a vast, slow system, a planet-sized engine of heat and motion, turning steadily, patiently, as it has for eons. This is the place from which all of Jupiter's warmth radiates. This is the source of the internal heat that drives the storms, that powers the winds, that keeps the metallic ocean fluid and moving. This is the heart of the giant. And you are here, witnessing it, held safely in the stillness. You have reached the deepest place. There is nowhere further to go. The journey inward is complete. Slowly, gently, you begin to rise. Not physically, perhaps, but in your awareness. You have seen the heart of Jupiter. You have traveled from the cold clouds at the top to the hot, dense core at the center. You have passed through storms and mists, through supercritical fluids and metallic oceans, through layers that have no names in human language. And now, in this quiet moment at the center, you can remember it all. The journey plays back in your mind like a gentle dream. The approach through space, drifting among the scattered stars. The moons passing by, Io with its fire, Europa with its hidden ocean, Ganymede with its magnetic field, Callisto ancient and quiet. The smaller moons, the rings of dust, the invisible magnetosphere stretching millions of kilometers into the void. The first view of Jupiter itself, the bands of color swirling across its face. The descent through the atmosphere, through ammonia, ice, and ammonium hydrosulfide and water clouds. The great red spot turning slowly, endlessly. The lightning flickering in distant storms. The deep warmth rising from below. The transition into supercritical fluid, where gas became something else, something unique. The helium rain falling in slow motion. The elements mixed through the depths. The increasing pressure, the rising heat, the sense of descending through layers of quiet wonder. The metallic hydrogen ocean, vast and strange, conducting electricity, generating the magnetic field that shapes the space around the planet. The dynamo turning, the currents flowing, the slow pulse of forces that have no parallel in human experience. And finally, the core, the hot, dense heart, the center of everything. The place where it all began, 4.5 billion years ago, when Jupiter formed from the swirling disk of gas and dust that surrounded the young sun. Jupiter is more than just a planet. It is a guardian. Its immense gravity has shaped the solar system since its formation. It scattered the asteroid belt, preventing the material there from ever coalescing into a planet. It deflects comets and asteroids away from the inner solar system, protecting Earth and the other terrestrial planets from impacts. It may have migrated inward early in the solar system's history, clearing out material, then migrated back outward, allowing worlds like Earth to form at just the right distance from the Sun. Without Jupiter, our solar system might look very different. There might be no Earth, no life, no one to tell the story. Jupiter's presence shaped the architecture of our system, creating the conditions that allowed us to exist. And it is still doing that work, even now. Still deflecting objects, still stabilizing orbits, still glowing softly from within, radiating the heat of its formation, a reminder that planets are not static things. They are active, alive in their way, evolving over timescales so long that they seem eternal to us. Jupiter has been visited by spacecraft, Pioneer, Voyager, Galileo, Juno, each one sending back images and data, revealing the planet's secrets piece by piece. But even with all that we have learned, Jupiter remains mysterious. There is still so much to discover, so much wonder waiting in the depths. But for you, the journey is complete. You have seen what lies beneath the clouds. You have touched the heart of the giant, however briefly, and you carry that knowledge with you now. You are beginning to feel sleepy now. The journey has been long and peaceful, and you are ready to rest. Jupiter continues to exist, far away in space, patient and unchanging, as it has for billions of years. The moons drift in their orbits. The storms turn slowly. The core glows with ancient heat. You feel yourself drifting back, not through space, but through your own awareness. The images of Jupiter begin to fade, gently, like the last light of evening fading into night. The warmth of the core becomes a memory, soft and distant. The metallic ocean recedes. The clouds blur. The moons grow faint. You are returning to your own world now, to your own body. You can feel the bed beneath you, the pillow under your head, the blanket over your shoulders. You are safe here. You have always been safe. The journey was only a story, a way of traveling without moving. But the wonder remains. The sense of scale. The knowledge that out there, beyond the sky, a giant planet is turning slowly in the darkness, glowing from within, holding its moons in gentle orbit, shaping the space around it. Jupiter is real. The journey you took, though imagined, was based on truth. The facts are accurate. The science is sound. The wonder is justified. Take a deep breath. Feel your chest rise and fall. You are here, in this moment, safe and warm and tired. Your eyelids are heavy. Your body is relaxed. You have traveled far, and now you are home. Jupiter is still out there, if you want to think about it. Turning slowly, glowing softly, waiting as it always has, as it always will. The moons drift in their endless dance. The great red spot spins. The metallic ocean churns. The core radiates its ancient warmth. But for now, you can let it go. You can let yourself sink into sleep. You know now that the universe is vast and beautiful and full of wonders, and that you have touched one of them, however briefly. You have fallen through the clouds of Jupiter. You have seen its heart, and you carry that with you, a quiet gift as you drift toward sleep. Let yourself rest now. Let the words fade. Let the images soften. You are safe. You are warm. You are held gently by the world beneath you, just as you were held by Jupiter during your journey through its depths. Sleep now. Sleep peacefully. Sleep well. The stars are watching. The planets are turning. The universe is vast and patient and kind, and you are a part of it all. Rest now. Rest.